Before I move on to the next lesson that's going to include selections, this is from our last lesson. We opened from the bridge and we also opened from inside Photoshop 3 images, the birds, the bear, and the rose. I just want to go over some color issues with Photoshop before we move any further. Let me close some of these things that keep cropping up. And we have in Photoshop swatches, and there's a flyout menu that will show you, you can make all kinds of changes, large thumbnails, that's very big, or tiny thumbnails, that's very tiny. I'm going to go with small, that looks good. You can pick a color off the screen by going to the eyedropper, and let's pick the red from the rose, and we want to add some colors from our images. So here it is, name swatch. I'm going to say rose red. We're going to pick the blue from the sky. I'm going to call it blue sky. And I'm going to pick the brown from the bear. Brown bear. So you can make your own color palettes, okay? If you want to save them, the flyout menu, you can go to Save Swatches, and I'm going to put Karen's Lesson Swatches, and it saves it in a folder if you notice, because this is where you save it in a Mac, you can see it. PC also shows you where you're saving it. Karen's Lesson Swatches, I'm going to save that. I'm going to go also in here, there's all these different kinds of colors. Pantone colors are used a lot in print. Let's just see what they look like. It's going to load them up, and it's going to say, do you want to append? If I don't say append, it's going to replace everything. I want to keep what's here, I just want to add to it. You'll see this a lot in other areas of Photoshop. So I'm going to append. So now I have the Pantone color swatches. If I don't want all that stuff, I can just go in here and say reset swatches. Instead of append, I'm just going to let it say replace current swatches and say okay. Now I lost my 3 that I made, but because I saved it, I can go to load swatches, and there's my swatches, and the 3 I made will be there. Oh, see, it loaded all of them. I should have replaced. So I'll try that one more time. Load swatches and do that. Okay. Oh, now I'm going to have 3 sets of those. Excuse me. I'm going to reset swatches. Okay, replace. And then I'm going to go back in here. And what I probably should do, let's see, load swatches. I'm not sure. Oh, replace swatches with this. So you go to replace. That's one color panel. The other color panel I want to show you is this one. This is all the hues. These are the colors. You have to click in here. Notice this color and this color change simultaneously. You can make it the background color if you want. I find I'm better off leaving it at the foreground that I change. And if I want to swap them, let's say, let's get something different over here. If I want to swap these two, I hit the X key or these little arrows. And you notice it happens also in here. The other advantage of this particular panel is you can get CMYK sliders. That's cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. You can get RGB sliders. That's red, green, and blue. You can also get the spectrum. This is the spectrum. I'm going to go to the RGB Spectrum and bring it up here. And let's say I'm doing print work. I'll probably leave my sliders in RGB, but I might change my spectrum to CMYK. So where are we? Spectrum, oh, I'm in the wrong group. Spectrum, and I'm going to change the spectrum to CMYK, and then I'll pick this green. You'll notice RGB sliders. You can also, and this is used a lot, the color picker. If I want to pick a color, click, it brings up a color picker. I can add to swatches, new green, and it'll automatically add it to the swatches palette. You can go to the color libraries, which has all the Pantone, all the stuff you saw in swatches, maybe not quite as many, but you can go here. The only thing that I find if I'm doing print work is your monitor's RGB. So the match, you want to try to match your printer with your monitor, and then you want to work closely with the person who's doing the offset printing, because RGB and CMYK, you can get it close, but to get a perfect match, you have to go from 4-color to 5-color to spot color, and then it's all about money. So those are the main areas of color we're going to deal with in this lesson. I just wanted you to know where all this stuff was.